Good morning. The purpose of the local law, or the public hearing this morning, is proposed local law number 3 of 2015, amending local law number 2 of 2014, entitled the Essex County Room Occupancy Tax Law, to clarify the definition of the hotel or motel. Steve, would you read the call of the public hearing?
Please take notice that the Essex County Board of Supervisors will hold and conduct a public hearing at the Supervisors' Chambers at the Essex County Government Center, 7551 Court Street, Elizabethtown, New York, on the 28th of September 2015 at 9:30 a.m. on proposed local law number 3 of 2015, amending local law number 2 of 2014, entitled Essex County Room Occupancy Tax Law, to clarify the definition of hotel or motel. Please take further notice that at said public hearing to be held at the time and date set forth above, the Essex County Board of Supervisors will hear all persons interested therein concerning the same, and the said board will consider written comments received by the clerk of the board on or before 4 p.m. on September 25th, 2015. Please take further notice that a copy of the proposed local law number 3 of 2015 may be obtained upon request from the clerk of the board's office, 7551 Court Street, Elizabethtown, New York, 12932. Judith A. Garrison, Clerk, Essex County Board of Supervisors.
Again, today is just a public hearing. There will be no vote or decision on the public hearing in this session. We do have some folks who have signed in to speak on this matter. I would ask that you try to limit your conversation to approximately 5 minutes if possible. We have 7 or 8 folks who have signed in. So, with that, Mr. Whiteley, come on. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members, thank you for the opportunity to comment. I did submit a written message this morning, which I think you have in your packets. I hope that can be made a matter of record incorporated into the public hearing. And then I'll just briefly summarize a couple of points. And I've made a couple of written submissions on this, but this is not really my big issue. My issue is the property tax. So, for many years, as some of you know who've been here on the board for a while, I've supported this board many, many times on issues related to the property tax, trying to reduce the use of that inequitable system. And to the extent that this proposal can help defray some of the property tax, reduce some of the property tax, and that can be a good thing. But I do have a couple of concerns, and I've expressed them pretty fully in the written messages. But very briefly, I think, first of all, collecting the 3% tax, occupancy tax, is not, that shouldn't be a big deal. I do worry about what's going to happen down the road if the state, for instance, gets interested in putting a sales tax on it. Right now they draw a very clear distinction between let's say somebody with a lake rental or a vacation rental or family property that they rent out for a summer, and clearly that's not subject to sales tax. But what they would do if you imposed an occupancy tax on those kinds of properties, you don't know what they're going to do. And if you get up to a double-digit type of tax, then I think you really can create a deterrent. I would agree the 3% probably isn't going to change the minds of a vacation, a family that wants to come to Essex County. But if you get up into the double digits, which is what I would predict could happen in a few years, then I think it can be a deterrent, and people may go elsewhere, or you're forced to reduce your rent somehow in order to absorb the tax. Because it is competitive, and that leads to my other concern. Really, is that most of those in our part of the county, in the southern part of the county, and I gather it's a little bit different up in the Lake Placid area. But most of the people that I know that rent their properties to vacationers are doing it in order to pay their property tax. The property taxes are outrageous in many of these areas, and the only way some of these long-time homeowners can keep their homes and pay the property tax is to effectively share their property with the vacationers. So, you know, yes, it's lodging, but it's not a business in that sense. Our neighbors to the south in Warren County have an occupancy tax, but they don't apply it to vacation rentals. They've got tons more rentals in competition, basically, on Lake George, for example, than the small number in Essex County. Saratoga, I gathered, looked at this a while back, and they rejected the idea of taxing, you know, people's vacation homes, people's family property. So that's really a concern. And I wondered if there's any chance, and this I didn't put in the written message, but maybe of approaching this on a regional basis with Warren, Washington, maybe Franklin, and others that don't have it. Why does Essex County have to be the first to basically have its people handle this? And if it would be more equitable if it were done on a regional Adirondack-wide basis. So that's just an additional thought. In my written message, I did propose that one way or another, you draw a distinction between businesses that basically, you know, you buy a property or purchase a property, a motel or a hotel, to use it to produce income. The difference between that and somebody who's lived in a home for 20, 30, 40 years now has to rent it out in order to keep it. Somehow that distinction, I think, needs to be made. At the meeting last month, somebody suggested maybe saying, well, if you couldn't rent it for more than a couple of weeks, if you only rented it for a couple of weeks, then you wouldn't be subject to the tax. The problem with that is enforcement. I don't know how you'd enforce it. And my thought was maybe give every homeowner, every property tax-paying homeowner, one unrestricted rental where you wouldn't have to collect sales tax. And if you beyond that, you collect tax. But that would protect the people who are just trying to pay the damn property taxes. You know? So that basically summarizes the issues. I think something like that would show respect for the individual rights issue, which I think is a big issue in the county. You know, what you do with your home. If you have a home, you rent it, and you have one rental, that should be allowed. But I hope you'll consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Christina Lucy. Good morning, Christina. How are you?
Good morning. My name is Christina Lucy, and I represent the Crown Plaza. And also, we have a few vacation rentals and condos within the Lake Placid area. And I think that we simply put, we support the additional occupancy tax on the vacation rentals because it increases our marketing. It is a tax that is paid by the visitor, not by the resident. And we have in the past 10 years have seen a proliferation of vacation rentals on Vacation Rental by Owner, on Airbnb, and the county is not able to use those marketing dollars because they're not being submitted. You know, we feel that anybody who's in the real estate business, certainly if they're collecting their commissions from those rental agencies, then they certainly can collect the occupancy tax as well. So we want it because it's important for the marketing of our area, and we see a long-term benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucy. Appreciate it. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Good. Next, Anthony Dawson-Ellis. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Anthony Wilson Ellis. I represent the house on Mirror Lake in Lake Placid. I support the collection of the occupancy tax. I think that the vacation rental market is a very important component to the revenue for the area and real estate prices most definitely, but at the same time these are people who typically aren't staying in the community for any length of time. They're not adding money into the community to sustain the community, so therefore having this occupancy tax collected would be very helpful to sustain the area. Thanks.
Thank you. I think it's so political. Michelle Preston. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. I'm Michelle Preston. I represent the Whiteface Visitors Bureau in Wilmington. And I started working there in May of 2007. And since that time, I've answered hundreds, if not thousands, of phone calls and visitor requests in the office regarding lodging in the area. I can honestly say I have never once been asked about taxes. People ask about amenities and what they can get at a property. They have never once asked me what the tax is on a property. So they want to know general pricing and, you know, how many bedrooms and everything that's at that property. I 100% support the idea of the occupancy tax being enforced or collected on the vacation properties because of the fact that we have a beautiful, beautiful region, and these taxes would allow us to offer more marketing and events and stuff in the area to bring people around to enjoy the area. I guess that's it.
Thank you, Michelle. Lori Fitzgerald. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Really, I'm just going to echo what Christina and Anthony and Michelle have just said. I'm representing High Peaks Resort. We too are in full support of the occupancy tax. It's a pass-through tax. Visitors are used to paying it. They pay it in virtually every major market that they might stay in a hotel in. So they really don't feel it as an impact. It's something that they expect to pay. And I think that the reality is we don't want to penalize small homeowners trying to make their property tax. But the impact of the proliferation of house rentals hits smaller motels more than it hits the larger hotels. So we really still are going at the root of our community. So that's all.
Thank you, Lori. Carl, I'm not going to attempt the last name because I can't read it. Morning, Carl. Good, thanks.
Good morning. My name is Carl Grunland. I represent the Mirror Lake Inn. I think the tax, we should support the tax. Simply put, I think it's really not one party's paying something and the other party isn't paying something. It's for the area, and I think that we really need to look at it more outside of the county because we're competing against other states. So if we raise these additional funds, we can compete against places like Vermont. I think we can do a much better job in the marketing of our area. Well, obviously we need those funds to do that. I think a state like Vermont has a huge tourism business, but basically speaking, I think they're kicking our butt, and I think these funds would help that. So it's not one party paying it and one party not. It's all together. Everybody helps promote the area to bring more people to the area, and then everybody should benefit. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Petra Weber? Do not want to speak. Okay. Last chance. Anyone else? Any other comments concerning this public hearing? Yes, sir. Morning, Bert. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Bert Yost. I own the Velkomenhof Bed and Breakfast, and I'm also part of a group called the Adirondack B&B Collection. and I was one of the ones that initiated the petition for this, and I am very thankful that the Board of Supervisors looked at this. I think in general this law not only puts equity back into the lodging market, but it gives us a chance to support tourism in a slightly different way than comes out of the Lake Placid Essex County Visitors Bureau. So I congratulate you guys, and I really think we need to move forward with this because you found ways to fund some things that are very important for tourism besides just the marketing that goes through the County Visitors Bureau. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Mr. Preston?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming out and speaking today. I know everyone has busy schedules, they have businesses to run, but it is extremely important to hear from you. So thank you all for coming.
Okay, thank you. No other comments? We stand adjourned.